Hi, in this video I'm going to go over, let me take a look. We're going to go over number 16 and 17 on the practice test, okay? All right, I know y'all are studying. I want everyone else to check out this document, that PDF of the practice test that I just posted on Canvas, so that you can email me if you have any questions on any of them. So I'm going to go ahead and just open it up. And then I will go over 16 in this video. And then I will start another video and I'll go over 17 in that video. Alrighty. Where did that go? Right here. Let's go find number 16. Where did that go? Right here. So number 16, for this function g of x, 2x plus 5 over 5x squared plus 29x minus 6. Let's find the equation of the vertical asymptote. Now remember, vertical asymptote is where we have 0. Vertical asymptotes are at the zeros of the denominator. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to set the denominator equal to 0. Now I can see that we need to factor this. So let me go ahead and factor this on the side. So this is me factoring this trinomial. And I use the slide and divide method. But of course you can guess and check. Or use any other method. That is fine with me. I can see if I multiply 30 times 1, I will get negative 30. Okay, hold on. If I make 30 a positive and 1 a negative, and then I will divide both. Luna, it's okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna walk around with an iPad and a baby. If I divide both of them by 30, I will get x plus 6 for the first factor. And the second one, I can't really divide 1 by 5. So I will bring up the bottom and I will get 5x minus 1. So I factored it. So this is equal to x plus 6 times 5x minus 1. So that means I set each of these factors equal to 0. X plus 6 equals 0 gives me that the first vertical asymptote is at x equals negative 6. And if I set this guy equal to 0, 5x minus 1 equals 0, I will get x equals 1/5. Positive 1/5. So these two are the vertical asymptotes of this function g of x, okay? Now it says identify the horizontal asymptotes, if any. Now remember how we did this? We looked at the degrees of the numerator. Degree of the numerator is 1, and degree of the denominator is 2. And then we did it by cases. N is 1 and M is 2. If M is bigger than N, if the degree in the denominator is bigger, then guess what? There is no horizontal asymptote. I will say no. Oh, no. I am so wrong. I'm sorry. I said the wrong thing. If the denominator has a bigger degree, what does that mean? That means the bottom is getting bigger much faster. Okay, the bottom is getting much bigger, much faster. So imagine dividing something by something really big. Dividing something by like 1 million. What will happen if you divide something by anything by something really big? It's gonna go to 0, right? So of course, if you're taking this test, you can use the resources that you have, your notes and lecture recordings, or your homework. So if this happens, if the degree of the denominator is bigger than the degrees of the numerator, horizontal asymptote is at y equals 0. Now, if the graph of the function has a horizontal asymptote, and yes, it did have it, right, at y equals 0, determine the point, if any, where the graph crosses the horizontal asymptote. Now, we did this in class to graph it, actually. We were trying to graph, and we were trying to see if we need to cross the horizontal asymptote to the other side, or But anyways, let's go ahead and find this algebraically. Now, horizontal asymptote is at y equals 0. So what you're going to do is plug in y equals 0. So you put 0 on this side of the equal sign. So you're going to get something like this. 0 equals 2x plus 5 over 5x squared plus 29x minus 6. Now listen, if you try to solve this for x, we can multiply both sides by the denominator, right? So if I multiply both sides by the denominator, oh, this is so hard, guys. Because you know, I'm trying to record this at, what time is it? 4:30 right now. So excuse me if my handwriting is a little messy. I got a little, I think she's about 18 pounds now. This little baby is getting heavier every day. Anyways, see, if you multiply both sides by that denominator, what will happen to this side? The denominator cancels out, right? And also, if you look at the right side, anything multiplied by 0 is just 0. So you're going to get 0 equals 2x plus 5. Let's try to solve this for x. Subtract 5 from both sides, you get negative 5 equals 2x. You divide both sides by 2. So if you have 2x equals negative 5, divide both sides by 2. Yes, well, the graph will cross the horizontal asymptote at x equals negative 5 over 2. They did say determine the point. So it does sound like they want the ordered pair. So what we're going to do is find the y value. So that is the x value, where it's going to happen. And you're going to go ahead and find g of, let me go ahead and find that over here, g of negative 5 over 2. Because we want to go ahead and give them the y value too, to make it into a point. I wish I can find my scientific calculator around me. Let me see. But I'm going to go ahead and just plug in negative 5 over 2 into this function. Negative 5 over 2 squared plus 29 times negative 5 over 2 and then minus 6. Alrighty. Let me open my bag. I mean, if you have a scientific calculator with you, I want you to type that in too, okay? Alright, I'm doing that on my scientific. 2 times negative 5 over 2 plus 5. That's the numerator. Oh dear, I closed the whole thing. Let me try one more time. So skip forward if you don't want to hear me saying this like over and over again as I'm trying to type this. I'm about to have the answer. But, you know, from this point, it's just really typing that into the scientific calculator to evaluate the value, to find the value. Oh, dear, this is a long expression. 29 times negative 5 over 2 minus 6. Alrighty, I got it. When I type this in, oh my goodness, guess what? I got y equals 0. And look at me being so silly. Oh, guys, listen. What did we assume? What did we assume that the y value was? Look at that. We were assuming that the y value was 0. So guess what? Of course, it makes perfect sense that we got the y value to be 0 when we plugged in that x value of negative 5 over 2. Because in order for it to cross it, it needs to touch that y value of 0. So, you know what? I spent the last 3 minutes plugging in something that we already knew was going to come out to be 0. But that is how you would do number 16. So, I'm sorry if I was a little bit sound crazy, but I will come back and do number 17 in just a second, okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and